and then without this over to Vanitha and my brother is known as Shekhar. He is Vaidyalingam. So we just call him Shekhar. So over to Shekhar.
We also read a book.
Vanitha, my sister-in-law is sorry. Thanks for that. My sister-in-law.
No food for Shankar today.
Yes, it's also very accomplished. Though she worked in the Indian Administrative Service, she's got a PhD in English literature. She also did her MBA, and then she has written books. She continues to write articles and various magazines, and she's got 2 copies of books. So please, I will let her talk through the book. She has helped a lot of children, learning the language, helping so much she has taught. So over to Vanitha.
Sairam. My humble pranam to the lotus feet of Swami. At the outset, let me thank Mr. Babuji, Jurjeti and other organizers to invited us here. What an honor it has been. The last 1 hour we've been transported to another place. It was so nice, so blissful. What a bhajan. We've been hearing bhajan, but this was extraordinarily melodious and then lifting, I should say. I'm really very, very blessed to be here, because when you see in a foreign land when so much of activity, Shankar used to tell me what all activity is going on. It's very, very, very heartening. So thank you very much. Well, I've been told that this is about half an hour. I can share my experience 5:15. I should close at 5:45. Then after that she will speak. So that we can wind up by 6:15 or around that time. Well, I'll just briefly tell before come to Swami's fold as an introductory thing, and how Swami invaded us into his fold, and what dramatic and miraculous event that just shook us out of our wits next phase. Then he just assimilated us into him, and we got into all various activities, and then various situations, how he announced his presence and then saved us. There's so many things have happened last, it was 1994, 1993 actually, we came to this world, 1994 Shivratri, I got his Pada Namaskaram, and then from then on it took off, and then every day there is something or other going on. And briefly, what happened, we are from a middle class family from Tamil Nadu in Madurai, in a middle class Orthodox family. So many things were happening about our Hindu customs and religion, we never understood any of those things, all mumbo jumbo most of the time, but then it was a culture, Hinduism is a way of life, therefore it was all okay. But then we never had understanding of any of these Vedas, Vedantas, and then why one should be good, why one should be truthful. There is no a kind of rational, logical mind. You don't understand, but it is good to be so. My father is like that, my grandfather is like that, so that's all. But the philosophy behind the whole thing was eluding. This was how it was. We were all very Tamil medium, rural, absolutely rural school with all kinds of, with very primitive kind of school infrastructure, nothing. English was absolutely alien to our scope till we finished our school. Rather, I would say some minimal exposure to the English language was there. It was all nothing. So it was all I should say mediocrity all through in all walks of life, whether it's education, sport. ठीक है, चलता रहता है types. Then what happened one time? My sister was a good chess player. she went to, she was a good player. One Kanyakumari, there was a chess tournament. So she was asked to go there. She is a brilliant chess player. She amassed a lot of awards she got. All these awards were given in the form of books. Those books are Swami Vivekananda, his teaching, his address to youth, Ram Ramakrishna, Sarada. She brought a bunch of books. And by then we knew some English. We had picked up some language skill. Thanks to my educated parents in the home. So those books came. My grandmother one day told me that when he saw this, this is Vivekananda. And I said, he was a great saint. He said, Sisters and Brothers of America. And she introduced. Then I started reading those books. That was a transformation of a tremendous impact it had on me and him, my brother. And then we understood what is religion, what is spirituality, and why we are doing what we are doing, and how one should cultivate our personality. And like Swami said later, later of course I'll come to that. He said, hey, you are not a sinner. You are not an ordinary guy. You are a spark of the divine. There's nothing that is impossible for you. Come out of your, that slumber and arise awake and stop not till the goal is reached. All bombastic words. When we read all that, though we use our goosebumps, hey, this is man, he's extraordinary. Then we read more and more about him, got other books. There was no looking back. So suddenly in the 9th standard, I became the class topper. I think nothing is possible, he said. Therefore, Vivekananda says nothing is impossible. When that fellow, this fellow, who can make then study, sports, there was all growth and growth. Like that, the college, I went, and then there too, it was excellence everywhere. Then I thought that one guru of this kind can transform a mediocre, ordinary guy into such a performing person. He is no more. He was gone, 1902. But then after so many years, his burning words could motivate a person like me, and then, push such if such a person is lively, in real form is available, a guru of that kind, what an impact it would have been. I used to long for his presence, but it was not happening. Then my roommate got into the IAS exam, and I also thought, when it's possible for him, why not me? So all those, inferiority complex, inadequate exposure to the nuances of higher education, and then that, communication skill, lack of it, and lack of self-confidence. What is possible for me? There's nothing impossible. That's what Swami has been telling. You are the Atman. That essence of the oneness of you with the divine, if it's impregnated into your psyche, what is that a man cannot do? That is what, Vivekananda said. And therefore, that way everything was possible. Therefore, we did. Then we married. We had a wonderful life. But just a basic spiritual, some kind of a reading. Other than that, it was all partying and then mixing with all the higher bureaucracy. A big officer, and then she was a commissioner. Everything was. In India, the bureaucracy, all these people are treated. So the day one, you have all, there's the driver, there's the cook, there's paraphernalia. All colonial hangover. It was not required. There's a different debate. It was all there. Before life was hunky dory, it was going great. Then 1993, what happened was, there was a very big shock waiting for us. My mother had a brain tumor, and she could not speak. Then we did not know what to do. So because she was in the government, we went to the best doctor. They jumped the queue and got appointments and things like that. Nothing. They all said it's a tumor, how to be operated. We went to Kalyan Raman, number 1. Then we went to that Bashir Apollo. And then thirdly, we went to some other doctor in Purmanay Road, I forgot the name. Fourthly, and the top-notch, the guy, the Shrimathi, everybody said. Finally, he told me, you go to B. Ramamurthy, and he is the doyen of neurology, he will tell you. We were all absolutely, that's why they shave your mother's hair and then operation. She may survive, but some faculty may lose and all that. They were completely shattered. You know what to do. And then at that time, when this all was going on, she was asked to attend a course in Bangalore. She went to Bangalore to attend a management course, And she will explain when she talks. To nutshell, what happened was, she came to know there was one Sai Baba. He is in Puttaparthi. Sai Baba, we know somebody who produced a sleight of hand and all kinds of nonsense was there. Yeah, he produces something, and so he was went to her sister's house, where there was everywhere you turn, there's a photo, there's a book. The Hislop, Swami and I, that book was the first book she said she read. And all these things slowly said, I want to see this man. Whether what is this phenomenon? Hislop, who's such a erudite persona in the US. And then there was another book, psychiatrist, Sai Baba the Psychiatrist by Samuel Sandwich. What a book that was. That is another book. Third book was The Man of Miracle by Howard Muffet. And of course, the icing on the cake was Satyam Sivam Sundaram by none other than our Kasturi. These books and all she could read and during that time, and then she said, I'll go. Then she took the car and then went with her sister. She will tell all that. Swami played hide and seek, and finally one day she telephoned and said that I saw Sai Baba. I was interested. Oh, the Sai Baba who has got that fluffy hair and all that. Is that the person? Yeah, is that the person? So what was it like? I'll come and tell you. Tell something, I will come and tell you at home. When she came, she brought all those books, so many books, cassettes and all that. Then I started reading those books. She told him, it's an incredible experience, I can't put in words. The serenity of the white field, and the people revere him, the whole ambience, and then the message and teaching was extraordinary. You will have to see to believe what it is. It is something incredible. Look, maybe we are a very disciplined organization. By then I knew about Ramakrishna Mission, I know about the Shrimathi Mission and so on, but Satyasa organization we did not know. And I started reading those books. There was one particular chapter, it says cancer is cancelled. So that's what his book is there. Then the treatment, by then Babi Ramurthy had gone to Australia. We were waiting for this appointment for my mother. Hey, here it says cancer is cancer, tumor is a cancer. If he's really God, but with the incredible writing, particularly Samuel Sandwell's book impacted me terrifically. He's a high, top-notch, psychiatrist from California, revered as one of the doyen of psychiatry. He comes and then, all that happened in the book. I don't want to tell you. You might be knowing, or it's worth reading if you have not read that book. Then we should go. We should cancel. If we can cancel the cancer of somebody. My mother is also a pious lady, good person, and as far as she's a true representative of the motherhood, Indian mother, and why she will not get the grace. So let's go. Then we went there. That story is a big story. That probably she will tell. I will not tell. It's all there in the book. But at the end of the day, what happened was, Swami's Vibhuti was taken. How the Vibhuti came, that's the big story. Vibhuti was taken. Biramurthy came, started taking it. Biramurthy came from Australia. Krishnamurthy Srinivas, there are two, one is a physician, another is a surgeon. We took a recommended letter, and then with the MRI, all the papers, we went to him. Biramurthy is such a star, as Dhanvantri Award winner, Government of India, Bharat Ratna, Padma Vibhushan tak he went. After that, what happened? I don't know, maybe that was the best he got from the Government of India, but international accolades. No neurological conference in the world can happen without B. Ramurthy. His books are internationally renowned books, and so on and so forth. He also did a lot of research on yoga and how yoga impacts on neurology, how yoga empowers, how the neural system get empowered through the pranayama. That is a book, a very celebrated book. That is the kind of a guy. And for him, this kind of cases are all just nothing. But then he was going through those MRI pictures again and again. Then he was going through those reports. I said, such a eminent guy, why should he just a casual browser should be good enough for him to understand case? Why should? Then he asked my mother, you are Bala Venkatesan? Yes, he said. See, Swami, how he works is incredible. Why open your mouth and show. He saw that. Then he called his stenographer. He became very serious. There was anger, anguish, and then bewilderment I could see on his face. He called his name, blasted in the technological thing. What is the kind of diagnosis you people are doing? Where is the evidence of tumor in this case? You wrote a thing, you are referred, I am not your doctor, you come as a referral. I cannot treat it. Krishnamurti Shrimathi, go back. And then give it. As far as I am, Mami, he said in Tamil, Vishnu Sahasranam, Lalita Sahasranam, you tell every day. She could not speak, the tongue was twisted and all that. Then she went, we went back to him, we were puzzled, what is that? When I came from that home, from his clinic, I was starting the road, I knew a miracle of highest kind has taken place. My mother has cancer, it's not that, it's been none other than B. Ramurthy has said. What more you want? He is the Vasishta of medical science, neurological science. And said, Amma, he says, there's no tumor, there's no operation required, it's all bunkum, there's bullshit. This is what he says. My father was totally puzzled. We were treating a road, we were standing in the road, waiting for the taxi or whatever. Then next day we went to see Krishnamurti was totally shocked. He said, how is she writing like that? Then he looked at us and all that. Sometimes, these pictures are plastic, After all, MRI are images, It can probably, faded in the last 1 month. He had to say something, to cover up his, he said that. Then he said, no operation. Then now that he's done operation, no operation, let us wait and see. So, in the meantime, the next generation of Siemens MRI machine has come. It has given more sharper, cross-sectional thing. He said, a flux of time would have got faded. Let us take one more MRI. It's very expensive, 9,000 rupees in those days. It's a lot of money. But it's okay. It's all right. My father, we are well-off people, so it's not a problem. We went to Vijay Hospital, I took, and then an international conference took place in Taj Coromandel. There they discussed this case. They all unanimously come to conclusion, this is not a tumor, this is something else, no operation. By then the tongue, it has got twisted, become ordinary, normal. She could get back to the old speech and all that. And the vibhuti, whatever she got from Puttaparthi, that also she was taking during that period of time, every day. Then what happened was the most important thing is, my mother is an orthodox lady. The puja, there will not be Sankaracharya, Ramana Maharishi and all will be on the side. Only Mahavishnu and Shiva. There will be Sanctum Sanctorum. There are Asami. This is Swami. I know that is a kind of orthodoxy, But such a lady put Satya Sai Baba's photo in the center. She knew after that, this is God Almighty. And then He can cure a tumor out of just like that. He is Bhagavan. This is what. Then on that photo, very photo which you have put in Sanctum Sanctorum, in a concentric circle, like shank, Vibhuti started forming. And why? We thought some dust is forming. Not blotch thing, It is just a concentric ring. So about 1 centimeter or 1.5 centimeter thick. It was just geometric precision. It is forming like that. And the center of the concentric ring, the center portion, Swami's both eyes are there. It is forming around him in a sham, and then we took up this thing and tried to this thing. It was forming inside, so that that it will be preserved. By then I read all these books, bhajan. I know some friends. Whomever I meet everywhere, he is Sai Baba devotee. Sai Baba was totally outside our scheme of things. And suddenly after this, you meet somebody, he is Sai Baba. You go somewhere, his picture. And people whom I knew for donkeys years, they were all Sai Baba devotees. And another colleague of her, Sridhar, he was a Sai Baba devotee. I said, what is all this here? No, don't get carried away by that. His message is service. So don't do that. Go to Sundaram. So we went first day, there was a morcha, we could not go. Like we played hide and seek, he played hide and seek with us. Second time we went, by the time we went, Paramam Pavitram was over and people were coming out. Third time when I went, third Sunday we went, Swami allowed me inside his fold. Thereafter, we all were got to get into the act and find out what it's all about. Then I joined the Kinagar Samiti, Narayana Seva, Medical Seva. Then the club and all that, this meeting and all the evening gossip. I slowly getting detached from all those club affairs. I used to occasionally in the party, booze also. The booze went off from my life, and then booze means some little bit of thing once in a while. Even that went off. Then slowly got into Swami's fold, and she was also getting into seva activity. At that time, something strange happened. See, I was in charge of projects. Various projects we had to appraise and see that these projects are remunerative. It's financially viable to get a sanction. And then there was a project called Dharmavaram to Pinakonda via Puttaparthi. This is some branch line somewhere going. How it is there? Rate of return, FIR, some finance by people here will know. Financial internal rate of return was something negative. It should cut off by 14%. Then as a brilliant way. See, when you come from Bombay, from Bangalore, the Dharmavaram, that portion, Bangalore portion, is a single line. There was so much of congestion. It qualifies for a double line. Instead of putting a double line along the existing single track, if you take a detour like this and bring it, you get two benefits. One is you uncovered new area of Andhra Pradesh, get into a railway network. Secondly, a small detour will not make not much of kilometerage. This upline can go in the regular line, the down line can go through this detour. In the process, this request of this satisfy people to have a railway line there also can be fulfilled. This was the proposal, and it came to me for me give a positive recommendation that it should be doable and it should be done. Look at this. Look at the sweetness of Swami. How this has happened? Then we all just pushed it and then got the project sanctioned. That's how the railway line in Puttaparthi. This is one episode which was tremendously, impacted me. That's of all people. I was given the file came to me for construction of a line. So the seed for starting the project was that report, and the report was favorable. I mean, it was not me. I was when you like a squirrel, would put a small pebble on the Rama's thing. That was the opportunity that happened.
Thanks for doing that. It's been such a blessing for all the devotees. It's amazing.
Yeah, I can't tell you. See, Swami, then every day something. Then suddenly there was a thunderbolt, another thunderbolt. My boss came from railway board. Vaidyalingam, you are due for a promotion. You are promoting as executive director railway board. Be ready. You got to pack up and get out. My father was so sick then, so sick. He was almost like a bedridden. He had a paralytic stroke. He was recovering, could not speak and all that. And he was staying with me. The beautiful, big, huge house with all the paraphernalia, government servant, my people, railway hospital, railway doctors. They come and see. They will come and see with all the equipment. Now, if I transfer to Delhi, all this will go away, and he has to go back to his flat in there. And who will look after him? All my other siblings are abroad. Then at that time, whenever Swami talked to students, you should look after your parents in their old age. Now, no seva is superior to looking other than more superior than looking after the parents. Parents don't neglect. This was a key message that was going around in 2019. You see the speeches of 1999, 2000. Swami talks often. Then I used to tell Swami, you say that you want to look after the parents. What is that is happening? This man has told that I have to pack my thing and go away. And now, there is no way I can go. Financial Commissioner, Railway Board has come and gone. You have to come and join. Then, if I were to look after my father in his critical stage, and you are getting transferred like this, then I can't do this. And then people say you are God, and I'm praying to you, do something and prove that you are God. It's a challenge, However, she has screwed my mother's this thing. All that forgotten. And now suddenly I say that you prove your God. You prove your God. This was a mental this thing going on. Then something very interesting happened. See, Gaisal accident took place. You remember? There was Assam. There was head-on collision. Very, very unfortunate. A lot of people died. Then that time, that particular that was one. Second thing was suddenly the additional divisional railway manager Chennai, number 2 of the Madras division, Southern Railway Chennai division, 2 position. That fellow got a plum offer in Malaysia. That post fell vacant. When the post fell vacant, that will be filled in. All this I came to later. Then I believe now my name was proposed, and they said that it's better that we need a civil engineer. I'm from civil service, civil administrator. We need a civil engineer. The takeoff was going on. Finally, one day what happened? I was in a very morose, very depressed mood. Orders are expected anytime. So we were looking whether what to do and all that. My children were all studying in the school, and they shift them. She can't, once you're transferred, you can't stay in the government house. So one Sai Baba is there in our office. His name is Govinda Sai Baba. We call him Sai Baba. Those days fax machines are very few. Only one machine was there in the GM secretariat. So he said budget order has come. He has gone there to pick the budget order. Some new allocation and new funding and new fresh advice. He was, bunch of facts had come. He was searching for all this. On one evening at 6 o'clock. That day I was just looking at Swami's photo and all that. He called me. When they went there, among the papers, he did not get a budget order. There was one letter. Shri Vaidyalingam, ARAS, is posted as additional DRM Chennai Southern Railway. On letter has come. Nobody knew. Even the financial commissioner also did not know. He came to know, they have agreed. They said only civil engineer should be there. But the chairman railway board, what happened? You are consulted GM, Southern Railway. GM Southern Railway said, yes, a civil engineer required. If Vaidyalingam is going to propose as additional DRM, I am willing to relax this thing. These are all I came to know later. Then Sai Baba calls me on 6 o'clock. Sai Baba called me. Sir, congratulations, you have been posted as additional DRM Chennai. 3 years you can stay in Chennai on promotions. The rank is same as executive director available. Not only, it's not that I'm allowed to. The same grade was given, promotion was given, I was retained in Chennai. This was told to me none other than Sai Baba. This was, according to me, this was one of the Swami's direct message. You are fighting, you want me to prove that I am God, right? This proof is another proof I'm giving. If it's not sufficient, let us see. And then there more activity, so many things. Srinagar Samiti in Chennai is one of the vibrant. So literally, what should I say? Then I was additional DRM. Then something very interesting happened. I said, something railway should do to the Seva thing. So many people come to Chennai is the mecca of medical care. People come from Northeast, North India, Hindi speaking people, Bengali speaking people. Shankar Netralaya in Chennai is a key for a lot of people from North India to Shankar Netralaya. Kidney transplantation, heart, Apollo Heart in Chennai. So you get a heterogeneous crowd, come Coromandel, GT. 80% are non-Tamil knowing people. So there is the interface between the railway commercial department and those requirements was huge. If we put up a Seva center in the railway, heart of the railway station, and if our Seva Dal are there, how nice it would be. All these things, railway employees cannot do all this. Somebody can talk in Hindi and then take them, show the bus stand, accompany them to the auto stand, and then there is people are coming 48 hours, 36 hours, they travel. If there is a first aid there in the center, people can immediately check. Some of the railway doctors who are side devotees, they can be there in the critical time. When GT comes and Coromandel come at that particular point of time, if those doctors are there, immediately you can give first aid. Opposite, there is a general hospital, you can take them there. How nice it would be then that this seed, I do not know, Swami put in my mind. And since I was in the helm of affair, I said, that time Vanitha Banerjee was the minister. He said we should also engage NGOs for this public interface. Somewhere she said, I got that letter. Minister has said, so this is an NGO which is pioneering in Seva. So why should we put it? Everybody said that came into being. That came into being. They did a fantastic service till COVID started, or COVID was stopped. It's not started as yet, but then during that period, in 2001 to 2018, that 18 years, how many people would have been benefited to the public utilities center in Madras Central Station, which handles more than 2 lakh people. 2 lakh means I think 0.2 million. 200,000 people, on a day. And they all know, BP check you can check BP. Sugar, they give sugar pills. A lot of medicines also they used to give. And then people know which platform, which train, whether the train is late or not. Some accident people come, some active accident victims are brought. These fellows with where are those blue scarf fellows? Call them blue scarf fellows. Non-knowing, Swami non-knowing people will talk like them. Call those men, they are all good fellows, yeah. They don't want any poll, they don't want any press, this thing, no controversial. Quietly they come and do it, they'll go away. They are such good people. Call those blue scarf fellows. This was how the public utilities was performing. I can take some, so what should I say, Swami, of course, if it's I means that's finished. Swami used me as a tool that happened. This is one incident, which has brought a lot of seva satisfaction for all people around, and then it was doing great service. Then then my father passed away. After my boss was waiting, this fellow wanted to stay because father. Immediately my father passed away after 1 year. After that 1 year was very crucial. Had I not been retained in Chennai, there would have been a calamity in the household. But then I went to Delhi. Delhi, a lot of things happened. I'll tell you two incidents, and then because my time is getting over.
Matter of fact, you can speak right when we are eating too.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
That loves to talk.
And then I then went to Delhi. Delhi, something fantastic happened. See, all the Seva Dal I go to Puttaparthi. I'm also a blue scarf fellow. I also became a blue scarf fellow. Go first Parthi and the round block, watchman job. 2 occasions I have gone. So, scavengers in Orissa, absolutely downtrodden people. They will come as Seva Dal. Poor people from Jharkhand, absolutely. They take a loan to buy railway ticket and come. Because the station has come, thanks to that project. They used to come. Then I thought, see, railway gives so much of concession to all and sundry fellows. If these Seva Dals are given rail concession, if not free, at least concession, it will benefit them. This again the thought was placed in my Swami. Then my close friend Manoja, he is also a devotee. He knows the Lok Sabha speaker, Mrs. Mahajan. She is also a devotee of Swami. See, we orchestrated a plan. We are not conspired a plan, orchestrated a plan. We drafted a beautiful letter. The Satyas organization is doing great. You're doing so much of seva. All people from all over the country go. Medical care, water project. And then, super specialty hospital, people were used coming. So, super specialty hospital, basically we focused on. Seva Dal was incident. Seva Dal also were said. So much of seva volunteers are required. These volunteers are poor people. Therefore, railways, which you want to help, giving concession to cancer patient, handicapped people and all that, you will be befitting that if Ministry of Railways give a concession. Right, let me have the privilege to say that I drafted that letter. And I and Manoja jointly. She signed. And Lok Sabha Speaker writes a letter to any ministry, leave alone railway ministry. Which minister will have the guts to say no? The letter came, the letter was managed rather. Beautifully written letter, and then it was corrected by Manoja also. He also put his mind, and then the letter came. The minister said, and then I wrote in the file, blah 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 blah, and finally said, as desired and requested by using, this is only proper that we can bring. And anyway, it is this request has come. This request or this has come from the Parliament of India. As Parliament of India has sent this. He's not Parliament of India. He's only Speaker, right? Lok Sabha Speaker. So the Parliament of India has given the dictate. It is not a dictate. It is a request. It is a dictate. It is from Parliament of India. This may be seen and approved. There are 5-6 signatures after that. Who are the guts to say to defy Parliament of India? There was some more cheating I did for a good cause. Good cause. Bhagavan knows. But it happened. Can you believe? Then I told the state, then all Seva Dal for 2 years, 2 or 3 years probably, they all got the concession. If a person was to come from Bihar to Puttaparthi, the ticket will cost not less than 300 rupees. It was something like 100 rupees or 80 rupees. 200 rupees, I mean almost 50%, more than 50-60% concession. It's a lot of money for them. Of course, Seva Dal get free food, free accommodation, free Pada Namaskaram. After the thing, those days Pada Namaskaram was free. Swami will come and give Pada Namaskaram. And railway also gives something free. So this is Swami facilitated. Mrs. Mahajan, Manoja, thought. I'll tell one more incident. There are lots. Mr. Velu was a railway minister. We did a lot of projects together because of to improve the rail network in India. A lot of big policy decision. Amazing politician. He's a personal friend now. He's not out of power. We are very like brothers. Velu one day told me, Vaidyalingam, I don't know. Sir, Kaila do Puttaparthi. Satya Sai Baba, you know, Puttaparthi? You're asking, do I know Satya Sai Baba? I'm breathing that only every day. And you are saying, asking, he one day, I went to Puttaparthi Vaidyalingam. I didn't reveal all that, my video. He called me for an interview. The interview room, he told me, my daughter was there. 3 times she became pregnant, she had a miscarriage. She was just got pregnant. We did not know. She also did not know, or she was not told. Husband saw me interview room showed. Velu, minister, Swami, Velu, you are going to get a grandson 10 months from now. Swami, what? Sir, he does not. Sir, what are you saying, sir? Your daughter, she's conceived, and she is going to deliver a baby boy. After 3 miscarriage, 2 or 3, I don't remember, maybe 2. They named him as Sai something, Sai Krishan or Sai Ram or something. The child is a very fine child, and then he says that Swami gave me the reading. This is nothing. He gave a grandson. He made my wife. He made my daughter a mother. This was one episode I shared with him. Then I'll tell one more episode. This is also very, 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 very miraculous. What happened was, there was a Christian GTRM or a GM. He said, what is this Sai Baba, Baba? It's a secular, India, secular country. You can't have this Om and all that. We are not put any Om incidentally. You have put love all, serve all. Help ever, hurt never. That was there. The Sarva Dharma symbol was there. That's all. The Sai Baba and all that, we can't have him. Tomorrow a Bible fellow will come and ask, and some mullah will come and ask for the place. Please ask them to get out. The organization, the particular public utility center which we started a lot of fun there, was about, they are given a notice. They have given a notice, they sold them nothing doing, but tomorrow they can 1 week, 10 days. By Sunday you don't remove, we will demolish your center. We'll confiscate all your thing. There was a stretcher, wheelchair, and so many things. Medical first aid means all the things will be there. We will remove all those things. There was a war going on between the organization, Tamil Nadu, Satya Sai organization, state organization, and the general manager. Then it came to me, the fellow who started this, who facilitated the starting. Sir, this is going to happen, sir. I did not know what to do. I to the minister, Suresh Prabhu was the minister. I was also his OSD. But how to tell this to him? There was already 100 fellows waiting outside. That economic advisor is coming from the PMO. Some chief ministers are going to come to Haryana. There's absolutely jam-packed day. Then there's Vaidyalingam, how can I go and tell? And because today the last working day. After that, next 2 days they will demolish. And I said, Swami, do something. I'm not asking you, are you a God? I know you are God. I come to that stage by then. To prove that you are a God, and that stage you are God. You are God, Bhagavan. This is your creation. This is going to be demolished in 48 hours. Do something that you should be protected. I went there. This is a fantastic thing. There's a whole big shot, Raghuram Rajan, that Subramaniam is economic advisor, all coming out of the room. Then I told his PS was inside, assistant PS, Vaidyalingam sir, kya hai? I want to go inside. Go sir, aapke liye kya hai? Without minister approval. I went inside. Suresh Prabhu, the union minister, he was sitting there in the sofa. His PS was sitting next to him. He was reading something. He looked up at me. What? He said. He was also having the emerald, not green color means emerald, right?
Yeah,
Green.
He's also got a modram from Swami, sometime back. What? Sir, we have been wanting to bring a lot of NGOs into the fore, and here there is a fantastic Satya Sai organization doing common service to the public. The general manager want to demolish him, sir. This is, we should stop this. You see, by then there is, this fellow was giving the buzzer that 20 seconds, 30 seconds, minister's PS and me. There's a whole lot of people are just come and gone. The whole lot of people are going to come in. There was some artificially created a gap. So I told him, then he told the PS, tell them not to demolish. Tell them not to demolish. By the time he said Haryana Chief Minister is entering, had he come 10 seconds earlier, this order he would not have given. PS told, he said this thing, and then I talked away. Then the minister, all those garland, and I came. The PS called the general manager, what is this? I heard Minister Bonds, when the minister came to know that you are trying to remove the public utilities of Satya Sai organization from Central Station. They are doing good service. Swami, minister does not want that to be a disturb. Sure. After that, what? In India, anyway, if they stopped. Like that, every walk of life, if your purpose of doing some good work to the society by and large, he's there. He's there, lock, stock and barrel. And he says, I'm in front of you, I'm side, I'm behind you, above you, below you, behind you. That's what he said, na? That day I came out, I was transfixed outside the minister's room. I was dazed. Hey, yaar, that a calamity to happen. And now, because I am emotionally involved. First seva thing. Because what I have done, it is now going to be under my very own eye, it is going to be demolished in a couple of days. How I would have felt, And here he has given this thing, and Minister PS said, don't worry. I actually broke outside minister's room. People might have observed the funny thing. Minister have fired this fellow. This fellow has been doing so good and become popular by the day. Go inside and you have given nice firing. Good, we deserve this fellow. Might have thought. Quite right, likely. So it went on like that, so many seva, so many things, when they want some Satya Sai organization, top brass, they want to go somewhere, reservation, train reservation, upper berth, lower berth, side berth, innumerable, small things. They're all miracles. The Swami gave that kind of an opportunity. Ramani and all these people. There was wonderful, and then Swami came to Delhi when I was there. Of course, with the crowd we all were there, but Swami did not speak and so on. Then after retirement, Delhi was so, harsh in pollution, I couldn't breathe. We went to Chennai. My wife by then, had also come, and then a lot of activities, like Shankar was telling, Seva, there's a school, Tamil medium school, so children used to come without breakfast. But now Tamil Nadu government gives breakfast also in addition to lunch. Then it was not there. So we could organize. Swami helped us to sponsor that breakfast to those children every day, school day. And then she was teaching the slum children computers. Computer center came. Satya Sai is a computer center in the heart of the slum. That's another miracle. There is one IAS officer, Sai Baba devotee. The slum, they are developing some clearance board was constructing some houses. One of the houses they allotted to Satya organization. Okay, that is where all the children, slum children, they all play, na? In the heart of their own place. One flat, ground floor flat was given to Satya organization to promote education, social and economic welfare activities, seva activities. To ameliorate the conditions of the slum, they will do all kind of activities. They need a place. So there they put some 6 computers. It's beautiful. Somebody sponsored a computer. They are beautiful. But who will teach? There is nobody who was willing. They are all IT corridor already. Everybody is busy. Here is a person, IT expert, who wanted to teach and who wanted to work for Swami's organization, waiting how to go about it. Here is a center with the complete infrastructure, waiting for it. And by quick of this thing, I came to know. Then she was teaching for 2 years. Up to till the COVID started, those 6-7 children, about 10 children? 10 children. So that happened. Then after that, so many things, the Kannagi Nagar, there are first generation graduates. They are all very intelligent people. First generation. Father is a car puller or a vegetable vendor, a kottanar, that is mason. Those kind of children. They are intelligent, but can't speak English. They do not know how to speak and then get jobs. So Vanitha is training them on spoken English, how to write their CV, how to get them internship, and how to face an interview, mock interview, whole lot of inputs to make this first generation Tamil also they can't speak well. That's the slum children, students, first generation. So that is a big activity that's going on now. This 4 months somebody else is doing, and you go back, that will start. Now that computer center also has come into being.
Being opened.
It's getting opened on October 9. They're getting open. By then we would be there. So friends, what I would like to say is conclusion. Swami gives tremendous opportunity to all of us to be of bhajan, fine, puja fine, japam fine, all fine. But Swami says seva is the best. If you are doing seva, that gladdens my heart more than all this tapam, chapam and puja and all that. He doesn't demean all these things, all acquired. Because is very, very important. Equally important is seva. Therefore, we were lucky to be in a position in the scheme of things. We could do at a macro level also, a middle level also, and micro level also. He has given opportunity in all these levels. And what can give happiness? Seva gives happiness. What he says that this material things are fine, but then what you will give you anandam is seva. Service cheyu bangaru. Service cheyu bangaru. This is what he told in the interview room. And so life goes on like that, and then there are so many other incidents that's all rushing into my mind. But then, we have given a few very significant ones, which has given us undoubtedly that this is a spiritual force. This is that which came as Rama and Krishna, and this is that which is that Brahman, what they say, the cosmic intelligence that came in a human form and came to our level, our mundane lowest level, and mingled with us, and then gave us that bliss, and that's what we enjoy today during the bhajan. Thank you, Sai Ram. Sorry, I short up my time limit by 15 minutes. Sorry. Yeah. I'll sit here. My legs have become numb. Was it okay?
You should stop. I didn't know about the other stuff. I didn't even know.
Half an hour, what can you do? Just
Stop it, okay, look, best. We can see.
Well, one day I had to undergo a major operation. 8 teeth they had to remove. Swami wrote in the diary, Vaidyalingam is getting operated today morning at Vedanta Hospital, Delhi. I am going there to the hospital, the operation theatre. It is written. The notebook. Swami said I will be there in the operation theatre because any mistake happens. I had something like it's a carcinogenic. It's actually cancer, mouth cancer. It's now gone. Cancer is cancelled second time. First time or second time. But then what is most important is he said that I am going to the operation theatre.
And he was there.
And he was
there. I could see him there.
And these are all personal thing. I don't share normally. But Shankar and Prabha's friends, you are all. These are all very personal, but you share, then it will become a little, it can't be. But for people, Sai devotees can believe. Outside people, it's very difficult for them to believe that when Sai Baba calls and tells him that your prayer has been answered, you have been posted and promoted and retained, and you have been slotted in a job which is earmarked for only civil engineers. It's basically track, bridge, and maintenance of civil infrastructure. I'm not an engineer, I'm a science student. But this is all people trained on these things only are given that slot. But that for me to be retained at that promoted post, that was only slot available. He made that to happen. This is something incredible. Anyway, yeah, sorry.
Sairam, thank you for giving me this opportunity. I have written most of my experiences which I had up to the time I published this book. I have written it in that book. Of course, there are experiences beyond that, but not many. Okay. uh, like he's like like Vaidyalingam, we come from a very small middle class family. My parents were not orthodox. My father was in the Navy, so we were traveling every year to different parts of the country, and he would get posted every 1.5 years. He would be in a different state. And my father and mother never insisted that you should worship this god or that god or anything. They would give us they were very democratic. You want to worship anybody, you worship. I mean, so long as you are good, you're honest, and you work hard, that is all we ask from you. Worship or the Sikh puja and all that, they were not very worried. My father would not do too much puja and all that. My mother would every day light the lamp and she will do namaskaram to God. And she'd sometimes say, if it's a festival, she will say, please do namaskaram. And we would all very obediently do namaskaram without any involvement. So it turned out that my eldest sister became a worshipper of Devi. I became a devotee of Murugan, and my younger sister was a devotee of Vishnu. Not that we fought about anything, but we were all content with our own type of faith and the same. And I would go to the Murugan temple every Tuesday after I was, sort of independent, and after 16, 17, I started going to college. I could go on my own. Till then, somebody had to accompany me, so they wouldn't take me. So after 16, 17, I would go on my own. And that is the kind of background that we had. And I was very devoted to Murugan. And it was more like a playmate for me. I would talk to him, I would discuss with him my issues, and I wouldn't even tell my parents, but I would talk to Murugan about my problems and issues and stuff like that. Anyway, but then when I got into a position where I had to study for civil services, get a job and all that, it became I can do it. It is me who's doing it, and it is my efforts that are resulting in all these things, and God was somewhere in the background. In my book, I have called it The Unconscious Years and the Awakening. So I was not very into God, or even, I don't know if I thought about God around that time. And suddenly we had to go to this training program in Bangalore for 3 whole weeks. And it was one of the most boring programs that I ever had. And about 80 of my batchmates were also there, but most of them had come with their families. Because when they come from north and they're going to Bangalore, they all want to bring their families along. So I was one person who was there without my family. I was staying alone. So we all checked into hotels close to the institute so that we could just walk down and have attend the classes. At that time, I was bored because the program was boring, and we had to learn a lot of accounts and office procedure, and all. The whole thing was very, very boring. And in the evening, they would all go out with their families, and I would be alone. So I was wondering what to do, and I went to the library and I took a book, Autobiography of the Yogi. And it was one book which fascinated me in the sense that he had a copy. And every time I would say, let me read this book, he said, no, I'm reading it. After I finish it, you read it. So, but I would never see him reading it.
I was busy with Seva.
So I never got an opportunity to read it because I would keep waiting for him to finish the book, and he never did. And I thought, wow, a copy all to myself to read with no Vaidyalingam competing for the thing. So I took the book. And then I had told my sister that I'm bored, please give me some books to read. So she came with Baba and I. And she left it in my room. And then evening when I was reading, I took up Autobiography of the Yogi first. And I started reading. There's a deep ingrained thought, because my father would always say all these Babas are frauds. You cannot believe any of them. Be careful. And he was pretty vehement about it. So somewhere deep inside, we all had this feeling that God is okay, no Babas. So we were all having that this thing. So my sister, she came and left this book, and I was saying, oh my God, she's a technocrat, and then how come she's believing in all this? This is all because of her friends, that Ranjini and that crowd, which was all, too much into this ritual and spiritual. She's, I think, but she's a scientist. How can she believe all these Babas? This was my thought. And I was reading Autobiography of Yogi, and every other page there was a miracle happening. Or they were talking about a new Baba, this Baba, that Baba, some Neem Karoli Baba, and some levitating Baba, and some thing. I was really, it was too much for me to take, and I just threw the book away. Literally flung it into the air, and it was an old book in the library, so it just went into pieces and started floating down. I was feeling very guilty. My God, I've destroyed a library book. So I picked up all the papers, put them together, and said, okay, I'll bind it before I return to the library. I said, okay, let me read the other book. Since this book is so full of miracles and things, I'll read the other book. And the other book also turned out to be all miracles. And I said, my God, none of this are for me. And I decided I'll go to sleep. So I started thinking about, what will my daughters do? What kind of career they should have? I want to build a house, and all these thoughts all mundane thoughts were running in my head. And I decided, I just fell asleep. Somewhere in the middle of the night, I got up with a feeling that somebody's in my room. And it was a hotel room. It's a very tiny room, just maybe 4 feet width, just accommodating a bed, and then there was a 2 feet difference. And there was one dresser and this bed, that's all. It was a single room, very tiny room. And I felt somebody was in the room, and I got scared, and I looked, and the door was open. And I saw this person with an orange robe and afro hairstyle, and 2 people in white and white on either side of him saying, come. It is just this distance, And I was scared, really scared, and I said, no. And he says, come. Not verbally, he's just showing me action, come. And I was terrified. I said, no. And then those 2 people walk into the room, and they start pulling me off the bed, and then dragging me towards him. And I'm screaming, no. And then I got up. Actually, I was not awake, I was asleep. And I was fighting with my bedclothes. And then I said, okay, this is not a bad dream. So let me go. I think I calmed myself, drank some water, went back to bed. And you won't believe it, every time I dozed off, the same dream repeated through the night, several times. And I just could not sleep till morning, till the sunlight came. And then I slept for some time and went to class. Throughout the class, I was very distressed because that fear, that terrible fear that I felt something bad is happening to me. And I was scared through the day, and I couldn't concentrate on what the teacher was telling. All the time I was thinking of that vision. Again that night, I had the same experience through the night. And then I got frightened. I called my sister and said, I'm coming to your house. This hotel is haunted. I cannot stay here. I'm frightened. I'm coming to your house. So I went to her house. The dream stopped. And I slept peacefully for the first time after 3 days. And I told my sister this dream came, and she said, that is Baba, he's calling you. And she was laughing. She was saying, Baba is calling you, you should go. I said, what nonsense, what Baba? No Baba, no. I'm okay now. But the moment the dream stopped, I was fascinated by who's this person who's scaring me. He seems to be a real person. And my sister says he's a real person. And he's scaring me. And why would he do that? Why should he scare me? And she says, he's calling you. What calling? I mean, Tirupati Venkatachalamati calls you, but who is this Baba to call me? I don't know what this is. So somehow I said, okay, let me go and see who this person is. He scared me so much, I might as well see who he is. So I asked her, where is he? She said, he's now in Whitefield. Very convenient for you. It's just an hour from here, you go. So I told my colleague that I'm going to Whitefield. He said, yeah, I heard a lot about this Baba. I'll also come with you. So So both of us took a taxi and we went to Whitefield. We just reached the gate and then the Seva then said, Swami is not here, he's gone to Puttaparthi. He won't come for a week. If you want to see him, you have to go to Puttaparthi. So we came back and my colleague said, I can't come to Puttaparthi and all that. I was intent on pursuing this person who scared me so much. I said, I'm going to Puttaparthi. My sister said, okay, I'll come with you. So both of us went to Puttaparthi and at the gates, the Sevadar turned us away, saying Swami has gone back to Whitefield. And my sister was just in splits. She said, what a game he's playing with you. And I said, what nonsense, why is he playing this game with me? And we went back and then she said, are you going to Whitefield? I said, yes, of course I'm going. I have to find out who this person is. So the next day I went to Whitefield again. And this time I went alone. And then I was sitting in the darshan line. I was in the second or third row in the darshan line. And then I saw Swami come out from the thing and he walked the rows. And I kept staring at him. It's the same person who scared me. But he looks very ordinary. I mean, he looks very human and very frail. And what is the scary about him? And why are all these people looking so worshipfully at him? What is there in this person? I mean, I didn't know anything about him. So I was a little puzzled at the worshipful nature of everybody around him and all that. In fact, he came and he stood in front of me and he was talking to some lady in the first row. And he spent quite some time standing there as if he's giving me darshan. Now looking like he probably giving me a darshan. And I looked at it and then I went back home. And then I had told him about my dreams. And I told him that I'm going to see this person and find out who he is. So I called him and then he said, what is it? What did you feel? I said, I was very confused actually. When I came out, I was a little confused because people are worshipful, people are this thing, and there was some magnetic pull. And I could not understand my emotions and reactions. I told him, I don't know, I'll tell you when I come home. And then I went to, that evening I decided I'll go to a mall. Just because I wanted to lighten my mood and this thing, I decided to go to a mall. And in the mall, the first thing I hear is bhajans. A very beautiful bhajan was going on in one of the music stores. I was just drawn to that bhajan. So went into the store and then listened to the whole bhajan. And then I asked, what bhajans are these? They said, this is Prashanti Nilayam bhajans. And I said, wow, this is really beautiful. Irrespective of what it is, let me buy this cassette. I bought the cassette. And I had also taken some books from the Whitefield, this thing. To read what this man had to say. So we had taken it and I went home and everybody in the house started reading the books and we thought, what he's teaching is very beautiful. And the thought, the love behind it and he talks about dharma, he talks about so many things which we think about but could not put it into any kind of framework. He's putting it so beautifully. So we all got enamored by that this thing. Then then suddenly I came to know that one of my batchmates is a Sai devotee. So I used to go to his room to ask him, who is this? Tell me, what is your experience of this Baba? And then he would tell me, and every afternoon we would sit and we would talk about Sai Baba. For hours together, we would discuss Sai Baba. And then he told me that there is a Sundaram in Chennai. You people should go and listen to the bhajans there. They're very beautiful. So I told him and then we said, let's go. Then we started out for on Thursday, Sunday we decided to go for the bhajan. When we went there, we got cut off by a political procession. So we could not reach the center at all. We were very late. So there was no point, we turned back and came home. Then the following Sunday, again we tried to go to the thing. We reached the Sundaram just as the last lines were being sung. But even that was so beautiful. But we could go into the temple after the bhajan was over and we saw the walked through Sundaram, and then we decided next Sunday we will come in time. So somehow we managed to go for the next bhajan, and so many bhajans after that, and we got sort of drawn into that thing. We saw the people's discipline, the way the entire thing was, and we were all very fascinated. I mean, it was still, a Baba who's teaching good, who's nice, whose thing is valuable, we can use it, and that kind of a thing. Then suddenly, one day, his mother developed a speech problem. She could not speak. Her tongue got twisted to the right, and she was having difficulty speaking. And we were all very worried because they were going from doctor to doctor, and then the doctors were talking about operation, and they said after the operation also maybe she'll lose some of her motor skills and stuff like that. We were all very, very worried. At that time, we thought, okay, let's go to Puttaparthi. And my friend kept telling me that he's God, he can do anything, he can cure you, mother-in-law, go. So I said, and he was also willing, so we said, okay, let's go. So the three of us, Amma, myself, and he, we decided to go to Parthi. We said, okay, there was a gap between a consultation with Shrimathi Srinivas and B. Ramurthy, just 3 days. We said, okay, we'll go in the interregnum and come back. So we took the bus that very evening, and we went to Puttaparthi. And in Parthi, we got the first row. And while going in the bus, I was praying, okay, everybody is saying that you're God and you can do anything. If you're really God, then before I leave Puttaparthi, you must give me an answer and a cure for my Amma. So we got into the bus, and we reached Puttaparthi, got the first row. We were sitting there, Amma and I were sitting next to each other. Swami came in, we were sitting close to that gate where Swami comes in. So we were sitting there, and Swami just ignored us and walked past. And probably I was expecting him to turn and tell me, okay, I'm God, and give you vibhuti or something like that. But nothing like that happened. And he just walked past, and we were very disappointed. We had 3 darshans, that is morning, evening, and the next day morning. And the evening bus we were taking to go back, so we could not attend the evening darshan. So morning also it happened, evening we did not even get the first row, we got the 5th row, 6th row like that. And the next day morning we were back of the thing, and nothing happened, and I was very upset. I said, okay, you proved that you're not God. You have not given me an answer before I leave Parthi, so fine. I mean, nothing is good. I mean, it's okay, we'll go. And I wanted to get into the bus and, talk to Shekhar about how unfortunate we are that, there is no cure, and we believed in this Baba and came all this way, and this Baba didn't do anything for us. I wanted to talk to him about all that, but as we were getting into the bus, there was a fight going on between the conductor and one lady. And she was arguing that it is an all-night bus, and gentlemen who sit next to me may lean on me and sleep. I don't want this gentleman to sit next to me. You ask a lady to sit, and the bus was full of men, and there were no ladies. And when we got in, we were just 2 ladies and him. So the conductor was so relieved to see us. He said, one of you please sit next to her. And I was very reluctant because I wanted to sit and bemoan the events. But then after a little bit of argument, I said, okay, I'll sit. I sat down next to her, and after a few minutes, she started saying, okay, when I saw you, I wanted to give you vibhuti. So she took out a packet and gave it to me. And she said, if you had not sat next to me and you had sat at the back also, I would have come and given it to you, because for some reason I felt I had to give you this vibhuti. Then I asked her, why? She said, I don't know, because when I came to, I'm the driver's mother. That's what she told me. And the Swami's driver's mother. I'm Swami's driver's mother. And I have had several operations for stomach cancer. And when I came to Parthi to see my son, again I developed the cancer had grown, and I was having a lot of pain. So they admitted me in the super specialty hospital. And in the hospital, I didn't want the surgery, because after 6 surgeries, I just didn't want another surgery. I was feeling very miserable. Then my son brought vibhuti packets from Swami. I said, okay, if you are God, then you will cure my cancer. I don't want an operation. So every morning, evening, I would put the vibhuti in water and drink it up, praying that you cure my cancer. Some American doctor had to come and operate on her, and
Swami gave her vibhuti.
Swami didn't give her vibhuti, driver brought the vibhuti. Swami gave the driver the vibhuti to give it to his mother.
Swami has given vibhuti, give to your mother. He instructed him.
Yeah. So some American doctor was supposed to come and he was delayed by 2-3 days. Then he came and then he checked her and he said, is it the same patient for whom you showed me all these reports and MRI and other things? And I can't see any sign of cancer in her. So they did all the tests all over again and there was no cancer. Swami had cured me. I felt this is a parallel. I mean, it's almost like saying, they've seen so many doctors and all of them are saying there is a tumor. And here, Swami can cancel that cancer. I was so excited, I took the packet and gave it to Amma and told her, drink this immediately because Swami has sent you packets of vibhuti for this thing. And I was so happy and I remembered that I had told Swami, before I leave Puttaparthi, you must give me the vibhuti, you must give me an answer. And that's what he did. The bus had not yet started. And the moment I gave the vibhuti to Amma, the bus started. So, and after 2-3 days of taking that vibhuti, she went to Ramurthy and the rest of the story he has told you. This is one episode and second very interesting episode was my elder sister, she was having a psoriasis problem because she was in a very stressful job and she was having a really bad time. The psoriasis had erupted all over her body and she was itchy and miserable and it was looking bad also. So she was feeling very bad. She had come to Chennai to see me and I said, let's go to Patti. Swami can cure. She had no belief in Swami or anything. But because I so strongly told her, you come to Patti, Swami will cure you. She said, okay, let's go. So immediately, that very day that she had landed, we both took a bus and we went to Puttaparthi. And the decision to go to Patti was taken at 3 o'clock in the evening. And 4:30 we tried for tickets and strangely we got tickets. So that itself was a miracle. We got tickets and we got into the bus. And then we had... the bus was going and we decided to sleep. We had our dinner and everything with us. We finished and we decided to sleep. And both of us are completely, woozy with sleep. And the bus would stop in many places. People would get down, get in and all that stuff. It was somewhere vaguely registering. Suddenly the bus stopped. And then the conductor started telling us something in Telugu, get down, get down, get down. And we didn't understand Telugu, he didn't understand English, Hindi, nothing he understood and we were completely puzzled and then we realized there's some technical fault with the bus and everybody is taking their luggage and getting down and so we also got down. Then we asked him what? He said, bus come Anantapur. No. And we said, we don't want to go to Anantapur, we don't know Anantapur, we want to go to Puttaparthi. He said, no, bus come Anantapur. We were totally, zapped. We didn't know how to handle that situation. And this guy, one bus came. Everybody rushed in. The bus was very crowded and everybody rushed in. And my sister said, with so much luggage, how do we get into that bus? And by the time we were discussing, that fellow decided that these two ladies don't want to come and he took the bus and went away. And we were completely stranded in a place. There was no bus stop. It was not a bus stop.
Midnight.
Not a regular bus stop.
Midnight. Midnight.
Yeah, it was midnight and it was somewhere in the outskirts of Chikmagalur. And it was both sides there were just fields and in the middle of the road we are standing with 2 bags and not knowing what to do. And I was scared, It's dark and my sister's Tamil is also very poor. And I know no Telugu. How we can't even ask for help because there's no houses anywhere near, no lights, nothing. And it was pitch dark. And then suddenly we saw 2 headlights coming and then I was wondering should we take a lift from whomever is coming. And then my sister was telling no, that is all dangerous. If you take what will happen, we don't know. Na? Then we saw it was a bus. It came and stopped, Puttaparthi. And so, oh wow, and we rushed forward and the bus was completely empty. There was only this old man who was a conductor and a driver. And he said, Puttaparthi? We said yes. I mean, there was no need for him to stop in that place or even call us. So then we got into the bus and we put our luggage, and then he said, you'll reach Puttaparthi in time for bhajan. We said, why bhajan? We want to go for darshan. Said, no, you'll reach time bhajan. Okay, so we said, okay, something, at least we are reaching Puttaparthi. So we could not sleep because both of us were scared now. I mean, we had an empty bus just with one conductor and one driver, and we don't know what it is, and out of the blue it has come and all that. We just kept awake, and then we landed in Puttaparthi and got off the bus, and we said, okay, let's thank, and we turned. The bus had gone.
Bus was not there.
It was not there. Actually,
Bus
it
was-
disappeared.
bus
The
disappeared.
bus disappeared. But I didn't know. I wrote that it's gone because I don't know how many people would believe that. But the bus was not there. And I turned to look. The bus was not there. And then we went to Darshan line. We went to the accommodation, put our luggage in our room, and then just as the bhajan was starting, we went in. And on that day, I think the school children had all come and they were all sitting in front of the mandir. So the ladies' line will start after the school children's line. But just between that time of the darshan and the bhajan, the school children had all left. So that entire area was empty, and the Sevadal went and put us right in the front. So we were sitting right in the front of the mandir. And Swami was already inside the interview room, and I was, sort of saying, hey, come all the way, Swami, you have so much difficulty. We got stranded also. I can relate that it was Swami who brought us there, but I was thinking it's some coincidence and it has come. And then we came all the way, and then you're not even there. We are not even be able to see you. You've gone into the interview room. What is this? And suddenly Swami opened the door and he came out. He never does that, I think. But that day he came out and he stood right in front of us, and he was looking at us as if he has opened his third eye. And I was feeling intense heat, and I was very afraid. I said, oh my God, I've done something wrong. I've spoken to Swami rudely perhaps. That is why Swami is angry with me, and that is why he is looking at me with, so much anger. It was not actually anger, but I felt it was very hot. And then he just, after a few minutes of standing there, he turned and went back into the interview room and closed the door. And my sister was crying. She said all the skin, wherever she had psoriasis, scabs had formed and it was dropping off. And by the time we reached home, her skin was clear of psoriasis. She gets it now only in her hair if she has some stress. Otherwise, she doesn't have any psoriasis anymore. That is one episode that was. Another thing was, when.
This is Geeta Mani?
So we went to Puttaparthi once, and I was looking at the bookshop. And in the bookshop, I saw a book which said, Swami is God. And that book, I was like, okay, these were the days when I was still having a lot of doubts and, thinking about, it's a human being in this thing, that avatar and all this stuff was still a little vague for me. So I was looking at that and I said, so she says, so this book says Swami is God. Is Swami really God? How do I know he is God? This was a thought in my head, and I went to the Prashanti Mandir for darshan. And I said, okay, let me just think about it. And I was closing my eyes and thinking hard on this thing. Swami is God, then what happens? If he's really God, was this how Krishna must have been and stuff like that I was thinking. Suddenly I felt somebody was pinching me. First they did this, then I just pushed off the hand and they started pinching me. And then I opened my eyes and I looked and it was a foreigner. Foreigners don't even touch you. And I was so shocked. I said, what? So she says, Swami is God. I said, what? How do you know? Then she says, I know because Swami showed me his divine form. I know Swami is God. And it was almost like an answer. Swami is telling me that I am God. So then I said, okay, so tell me what happened. So she said she is from Iran, and that she was married to a person who was not of good character and who would spend all his time with other women and drinks and all that kind of stuff. And he would ignore her and her son in the house. And one day her son was having very high fever, and she didn't know she was not allowed to go out of the house. Being a Muslim, she was not allowed to go out of the house alone, and there was nobody to escort her to the hospital or anything. So she didn't know what to do, so she called up her husband. And he was very angry with her for calling him when he was having fun. And she told him, the son is having a lot of fever and he may die also because he is 104 and I don't have any medicines at home. How do I cure him? So come. And he said, no, I won't come. And she didn't know what to do, so she put the baby in front of the altar and she was praying to Allah. Suddenly she saw a big blue globe floating down from the ceiling, and Swami walked out of it. He came and he put vibhuti all over the child, and he got back into the bubble and disappeared. Now she said, and after that I picked up my baby, he had no fever. And even as she was speaking of the baby, the husband came. And he was completely drunk, and he was ready to beat her for disturbing him when he was having fun. So she got scared with the attitude and thing. She took the baby and she ran into the room. And he started accusing, the baby told the father that, Papa, I had fever. That nice man came and he put white powder on me, I became okay. Now that guy started suspecting his wife of having an affair with some other man, and he decided to beat her. And she ran with the baby into a room, and then she started crying. And then again Swami appeared in that blue bubble, and Swami told her, don't worry, you leave your husband and come to Puttaparthi, I'll take care. So she had come to Puttaparthi. So she said, here I am. I left my husband and I have come to Puttaparthi. I don't know what happened to her after that, but it was almost as if Swami had just to tell me that he is God. That is a nice episode that would interest all of you. What else? There are a lot of episodes in that book which you can read. I'm leaving 2 copies here.
Thanks.
Anybody who wants it can take it and read. There are several episodes, small, some big, some, maybe insignificant, but very significant for me. I have written all those things in that. I think I will stop with that. And today we just do seva, do whatever Swami has and gives us a lot of opportunities to do wonderful seva and help people whenever we can. And our retired life is blissful because of the work that we can do for others.
So with regards to now that Swami is not there in the physical form, so that you don't get a chance to go see him, things like that, how do you still stay connected with Swami?
Oh, you can still talk to him. You talk to him in our mind. You always get answers, either directly or indirectly. Some answer definitely comes. So there's no doubt about it. He's still there with us.
In the Nadi, Tamil Nadu, the Nadi is there. In that, they always invariably, when we go and ask him in our family, invariably say, in Tamil, Satya means Unmai. Satya is a Sanskrit word. So he says, Unmai Sai Baba. So, he is, it's in that Nadi it is written, Nadamadum Devam. That means he is a walking God. Agastya says. And he was to live for 92 years, something, na? he deliberately, it says, he cut his life short. And he has, that's how I understand, cut his life short, and in that period. But then they say that under 96 moons come. That is another interpretation. It says that it's cut, not short. He has cut off this thing, terminated his physical thing. But whenever you are in trouble, or whenever you need him, he will come to you like a lightning. Agastya says, in my Nadi, I don't know whether I have told you, Prabha, I have not told you. He will come, he is there all the time, ever. When you need it, he will come to you like a lightning. This is how, he says. So
sometimes in the house, when we are just thinking of some important decision and all that, I'll get the smell of, not vibhuti, that amrit smell will come. And then sometimes I will see him walking around the house.
Jasmine
smells will come. Sometimes sambrani smell will come.
Sambrani is camphor. Not camphor.
Sambrani
Camphor.
Black.
Incense.
Yeah.
We call it some.
So all those smells will come, and sometimes I see him physically walking around the house and
She has a lot of visions.
yeah. So even a very interesting episode was again it was around the time when I was having lots of doubts about Swami. So I was also reading Yogananda, and I was drawn to Yogananda's teachings, his Kriya Yoga and all that. And there were many episodes in my life which was related to Kriya Yoga, and I was getting fascinated with those teachings also, and Swami's teachings also. And one friend of mine told me, what is this? This is like, spiritual tourism you're doing. One day you're talking about Swami, next day you're talking about Yogananda, third day you're talking about somebody else. What kind of spiritual tourism are you doing? And that sort of hurt me and also worried me. I said, my God, what am I doing something wrong? Is it wrong to follow so many gurus at the same time? And and we were discussing that several times, and we couldn't come to any conclusion because we both were fascinated with all the teachings of all the gurus. And we were also meeting around that time. We came across several young saints also at that time, and we wanted to attend their thing. And we were feeling a little confused about things. And one day when he was having his breakfast and I had finished, and I was sitting on the sofa right across from him, and I was talking to him about something very mundane, like admission of my daughter to some school or something like that. We were talking, and suddenly the area just got clouded, and I saw Satya Sai Baba, Mahavatar Babaji and Yogananda. They came together, and they just appeared. Slowly the clouds condensed, and these three people were there right in front of me. And Yogananda put his hands together. He pointed to Babaji and he pointed to himself, and then put his hands together and then pointed to Swami, as if to tell me, we are not three, we are one. We are all linked together and we are one. And you can go ahead with whatever pursuit you are having. So all gurus are the same. And that really cleared up a lot
all
of...
the three figures coalesced.
Yeah. He put his hands like this, and then he pointed to Babaji, and then he did this, and then pointed to Baba, and then they all joined together and disappeared. And I got so startled, I got up and said, did you see that? Did you see that? He said, saw what? He didn't see anything. And it was really a thing, but it cleared a lot of my thoughts, and it helped me, okay, all gurus are one. The teachings are all common. We can follow anything if it gives you happiness. So, Sai Ram, and thank you for giving me this opportunity once again.
Thanks to both of you for sharing your amazing experiences. I mean, these are all just signposts in our lives to it's almost like we live our life, and then like she was saying, there are times when Swami is there, but Swami is not there in the picture. He's like in the background. These episodes, these conversations kind of help us focus back on him to realize how lucky we are. Because every one of us has experiences like this in our lives where he's shown his presence in so many ways, right? But these are ways for you to reminisce and say, oh, this is how Swami came in for me. Because just like he came for you to take care of you, your daughter, your mother, everybody, Swami has done it for so many of us, but we don't remember that, and we kind of take it for granted. But just listening to all these amazing stories kind of helps you connect back to Swami and thanks Swami for everything. Just the sheer fact that I know you were supposed to come a long time ago, but you came now, and so we all could get together and have like a good conversation, satsang. We are very happy that Swami made it happen. And again, thanks a lot for taking the time to talk to us.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Indeed, it's,
I also want to say that it's such a wonderful experience to be able to listen to such a highly achieved people in the material world and also in spiritual world. It's a privilege to be able to listen to both of you. And also, actually, we are all beneficiaries of the seva that you did to Swami, because we were able to go to Puttaparthi in the train, sleep in Hyderabad, get up in Puttaparthi and we get off, and we are just one of those people who enjoy the railways. We didn't know, I did not know that.
he did it.
He did it, and every instrument.
And Swami said, it will not, train station should not come to Puttaparthi. No Prashanti Nilayam. Even though station is called Prashanti Nilayam, it's pretty far away from.
Yes.
So because it should not become a bazaar, and then the whole thing will become congested and all that. My devotees will come, and so it's pretty 2-3 kilometers, maybe 2-3 kilometers away.
Right.
That was Swami's decision.
But it's such a great blessing for every one of us. And also those we had a chance to read the book before Shankar brought to us a few months ago when he came back. And wonderful experience, very inspiring. And such a great spiritual source that you are, and it's nice to be, nice to know you also. So thank you.
We are, what I would say that I don't know, some merit must be there. See, Swami draws everybody. It's not that Swami doesn't. Some people apply their free will and then experiment. And then once they come one step, that one step is the first step, is the critical. You come one step towards him, he come 100 steps towards you. This has happened in our life. So when 3 days gap was there, B. Ramamurthy was in Australia, right? And the 3 days gap was divinely designed. Those 3 days, I didn't have any big assignment or anything, and I could also come. Had we not probably taken the initiative and come to Parthi and taken Swami's blessing, probably she would have undergone that operation. All that miracle that has happened, I kept all those records. The original MRI, revised MRI, and original letter, what these fellows have written, Galan Raman, that Bashir, and then there's a Punamali I wrote Dr. Krishnamurthy Srinivas, and then the rebuttal of Biramurthy, foo-fooing the whole business of operation and Fugo. All those are all records available. Therefore, how can you explain? Swami's Leela is inexplicable. A bus comes from nowhere in the middle of dead of the night, the bus driver and a conductor, and only for 1-2 patients.
And stops in a place where it's not a bus stop. And then says Puttaparthi.
And then when he drops them there, and it will go somewhere away, or it will be, it can't just disappear, right? It is inexplicable. And then 1 minute, not even 1 minute, 30-40 seconds, that gap, and that assistant PS let me say, for you kya farak hai? Sir, aap jaiye. Minister doesn't like to anybody to enter into the, you may be OIG, unless he calls, you can't enter into the minister's room. I went, and then he said, he was reading something, half heard, tell them not to do it, demolish. Something wrong is being done, he said, tell him that was enough for that fellow. Minister has told and to stop. This is, according to me, one of the very momentous, thing for, happened. And then that, you don't get him alone in his room. Even if he's alone in his room, he has to tell the PS will not be there. He has to intercom, that's an effort. Here he just lift the head and telling he was happened to be there. He was also overhearing what I'm saying. It's all divine design and drama.
The thing which sometimes I think about Swami is, see, you see him touch so many people, right? Like when you were talking about like that lady, like the Lok Sabha
Mr.
speaker,
Mahajan.
right? So you think of Swami as this little person sitting here. Then you see all these people who are really at some high level in their lives. All of them are like little cats in front of him.
Absolutely.
And he's playing with them just like he's playing with you. And then you realize this person who's that powerful is here for me. Right? That is the part where it gets so touching because you have the power with you. You don't have to go ask for anything. It is taking care of you.
Correct.
Yeah, when I heard the Maha power, see, somebody used to tell her, Madam, you know so many members of parliament, because our, day-to-day link, put in a word to that MP, Madam. He was to come to Delhi transfer. I was posted there. She was stranded in Chennai. So to come. Put a word to an MP, and MP will talk to the finance minister. She used to say, yes, I already told the MP that MP is called Maha power. Not member of parliament, Maha power. See, Swami is just applauding. He said Maha power. That Maha power were told, that is Maha power is Satya Sai Baba. After telling the Maha power, what these members of parliament? Just dust.
I think that's what I'm
And then it happened. And immediately I came in September, she came in December. My daughter's admission in Sanskrit school, my elder daughter's admission in Venkateswara College. And my house is in San Martin, is a villa. An incredible house. Like somewhere, like a house in Shankar's house. In this house, you got greenery around. There's a garden, there's a lawn in the front. This kind of thing in India you don't see. They created one colony, San Martin Mark, in Delhi. And I was given that house. 5 minutes walk is the Sanskrit school, the best #1 school in Delhi. 10 minutes walk this side is Venkateswara College, where she wanted to see. How this can happen? Without, it's all him.
All of our office is just 15 minutes drive away. It was so
Shiva
comfortable.
that Jandanwalan.
Jandan.
Their office was about 15 minutes away. Mine is railway board. I mean, Delhi people travel 2 hours, 1.5 hours to commute. And that way, a newcomer who was just uprooted from Chennai and come. If he has had 2 years, he will struggle. 3rd year only, he will settle down. I settled down the day I came there. These are all, they're all very ordinary things. But the person who's getting all this, he will know. And the person who allotted that room, that house for me,
In fact, the allotment was very-
Bhargav, Mrs. Bhargav, allotted the house to me. Is a Sai Baba devotee. Who is she? She was Anantapur collector's wife. Anantapur collector was her husband, he's an IAS officer. She's a railway officer. That Anantapur collector, when he was there, as the collector of district collector Anantapur, anybody in Anantapur collector has to come. This is a center, not gravity. He used to come. Swami used to like him. And Swami is a good guy, Mr. Bhargav. And Mrs. Bhargav said, then we talked about Swami and all, we come. She said, sir, you take this house. See,
In fact,
they're
we
also
offered two
Swami.
houses.
They're also
She said, this one or this one, you choose.
you choose. 2 beautiful house, with the duplex, of course. But then there also the Swami element is there. See, because he had drawn to me my experiences and Swami and what all we did, she said that he's a fellow devotee. Even though I jumped the queue, perhaps I did, but that discretion they have at that time. So that discretion was made to use. But how did it happen? The link was Swami. Because we were given a house there, these 2 children had to do a minimum commuting to school. Like that, small.
The Swami said, you take care of the children. Once he went to Parthi to ask Swami for my daughters, they're blessing his daughters. He said, I'll take care of the children. I also had a dream in which Swami, I used to worry a lot about the kids, how they will shape up, what they will study and all. So in one of the dreams, Swami came and he put his arms around me very lovingly and he said, don't worry, you are only a trustee, they are my children. I will take care of them. You don't worry. And when I got up, I could feel the weight of Swami's hands on me. He's putting his arm around my shoulder like that. I could feel that weight for a long time.
I mean, it's amazing because I think every one of our lives, right? That Swami element is always there. And like I said, it's for us like these conversations, right? When you were talking about how you went to Delhi, I look at my life when I came from Raleigh to Columbus. And how everything was planned by Swami, including my interview, what I will be asked in the interview. He puts one person in the plane to tell me, this is what they'll ask you, so give this answer. He told me the answer too. And that was the first question they asked me in the interview.
Wow.
Then I got really irritated in the interview, and then I said something like, I don't really care for this place kind of thing. And they said, oh, I like your confidence, they gave me the job. I mean, where is the probability where, so when you think of how Swami affects a lot of things, it's unreal, like, and that's when you think, how lucky am I to know?
Incredibly lucky, inexplicably lucky. I would say. This is a Yuga avatar. What else you can say?
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Switch off this.
Thanks, Shankar, for bringing them over.
Okay.
Long time no
I
see. How are you?
know. Good,
Yeah,
Shankar.
Prabha.
Oh, Prabha.
Namaskar.
How are you?
Good.